Hi there. Welcome to Apple World. Chris Stokes is up. Chris Stokes is next. In peril, the tycoon wannabe rapper needs a portion of the strain off of him, so he is dropping the names of different hunters. First up is the record leader from the South and his gathering. The gathering's casualties include a Y2K teeny bopper group, one of Ariana Grande's adoration opponents, and her sister. Okay, so here's a contort that we most likely never saw coming in this entire Diddy show, since word on the roads is that he is presently making arrangements to do a trade and get another person in his place. I mean, when you stop to consider it, it's not all that astounding in light of the fact that the option would be him losing his vocation and conceivably going to prison, and assuming there's one thing that we are familiar with, Mr. Diddy, is that he is really frantic to not go to prison and keep his billion-dollar total assets, and in the event that you're pondering who Diddy may be presenting as a symbol of atonement, it's no other than Chris Stokes, his long-term companion and colleague. Well, Chris isn't going to go down simple like that since he is presently hammering Diddy and taking steps to uncover significantly more mysteries. You all better hang on close since this show just got genuine. Diddy has been hit with a third claim for attack dealing and retribution corn, and as indicated by this new visually impaired thing, he is anticipating bringing individuals down around him to get a portion of the intensity off of him again. Now, it ought not be all that astounding that Diddy is attempting to give his best to pull off this, since he has been in a difficult situation and getting a ton of negative press in these recent weeks. Cassie essentially got into an entire tricky situation with her claim, where she said that Diddy has a misadventure was in her own home after she attempted to leave. He frequently punched, kicked, and puzzled Miss Venture, bringing about burst lips, bruised eyes, and forcing Miss Venture to take part in cozy demonstrations with Mel's SWS while getting off on it. What's more, shooting the experiences requested that Miss Venture convey his fire in her handbag, just to make her feel self-conscious and exhibit how perilous he is, and acquainted Miss Venture with a way of life of unnecessary liquor and substance. Stomach Muscle expected her to secure illegal remedies to fulfill his own addictions. She likewise uncovered how he used to savage her and, furthermore, forcibly feed her medications, saying Mix consistently provided Miss Venture with overflowing measures of previously and during the Miss Venture was given CGH pot and liquor in unnecessary sums during foo, which permitted her to disassociate during these terrible experiences. It became a normal spot to get IV liquids in the days after foo to recuperate from over-the-top substances pushed upon her and separate from the awful things that Diddy did to her. The claim additionally uncovered how he dealt with others, like the time he supposedly exploded Kid C's vehicle or the time he purportedly attempted to unalive Chick Knight. The court report says, for instance, on one event, Mr. Combs and Miss Venture were utilizing Dr. together in his home. One of his safety crew jumped in and reported that Schneid, a long-term opponent of Mr. Combs, was spotted at Mel's Drive and Burger Joint in Los Angeles. Mr. Combs started to get dressed, recovered various G from his safe, and ran out of his home to where he accepted Mr. Knight was eating. So Cassie's claim affirmed that DDSA, her put hands on her, pimped her out to different men, constrained her to ingest medications, and tried to unalive Shig Knight. That was exceptionally terrible. However, at that point, an ever-increasing number of claims began to come up charging that Diddy likewise assay them. The claims were purchased on by Joey Dickerson Neal and a lady who goes by Gina. The two of them guaranteed that Diddy's them during the 90s, when he was on the ascent of his profession, as per Joey. Diddy purportedly heard and recorded it without her insight. When she was an understudy in 1991, the grievance claims that she purposefully left Dickerson nothing, leaving her unfit to stand or walk. The suit said she left her beverage unattended with him at an eatery, and subsequently, under supposed tension from brushes, she endured a shot from a dull. They then headed to a music studio. The suit expressed when Dickerson Neal couldn't leave the vehicle, Combs purportedly assumed her to a position who was remaining to say her, as indicated by the documenting. Surprisingly more dreadful, she uncovered in the claim that Diddy had made a video of him trying her and he shared it around. Reports have it that days after the fact, a male companion named Devant Swing, an individual from the famous 90 SR and B-Bunch Joe Doy, uncovered to Joey that he saw a grown-up tape alongside others. As per the suit, Joey said Swing dreaded his band would lose its recordal in the event that he denounced Combs. True to form, Diddy's legal counselors denied the claim, saying this latest possible moment claim is an illustration of how a good-natured regulation can be flipped completely around. Miss Dickerson's 32-year-old story is made up and not sound. Mr. Combs never embroils organizations that don't exist. This is simply a cash snatch and nothing more. The other lady, Jane Doe, guaranteed that Diddy and vocalist Aaron Lobby purportedly sang to her and her companion once upon a time, as per the reports. While at Corder's condo, Jane Doe was offered more beverages and was pressured into getting physically involved with Combs after coming wrapped up doing his business. Jane Doe lay in the bed, stunned and damaged, while Jane Doe was attempting to get dressed. Corder purportedly jumped into the room, nailed her down, and constrained Jane Doe to get physically involved with him. However, it seems as though it was far more terrible than that in light of the fact that, as per reports, Diddy and Aaron then alternated with her companions simultaneously. It didn't end there, because purportedly, days after the fact that Combs went to the home where Jane Doe and her companion were remaining, he became angry and supposedly asked and gagged Jane Doe's until she passed out. Combs was supposedly searching for the companion since he expected that she would tell the young lady he was with at the time presently. He denied this, and his attorney denied it, expressing that as a result of Mr. Combs' distinction and achievement, it is an obvious objective for unknown informers who lie without a still, small voice or ramifications for monetary advantage. The New York Council certainly didn't mean or expect the grown-up survivors' actions to be taken advantage of by tricksters. The general population ought to be suspicious and not hurry to acknowledge these false charges, but rather, the following thing we knew, he began to get dropped by everybody that he was working and subsidiary with. Macy's put out an announcement saying that as a component of our continuous survey of our image portfolio, the Shah Jahan assortment has begun to progressively get rid of varieties since late summer 2012. 3 DIDS items are being eliminated and won't be accessible on the site. It's the course of business retail locations that are continuously assessing and choosing what's pertinent to shoppers. Insiders additionally began to report that he was getting restricted from the Grammys, saying a few institute authorities are pushing to eliminate the very rich person whiz from the Grammy list if people to attend their formal solicitations go out this month. There's concern at the foundation as a few Democratic individuals don't figure it will be fitting to welcome Diddy, and some, including a few high-profile African-American individuals, dread that enticing him gives a false impression to crowds and the actual causes uphold. A few marketing experts have asked that their specialists aren't situated by him. It's a strategic bad dream, yet things got crazy when even his own organization, Revo Television, reported that Diddy has been approached to step down from his job as executive of the organization. They put out an announcement that said Sean Combs has resigned from his job as director of Revo, while Mr. Combs has recently had no functional or everyday job in the business. This choice assists with guaranteeing that Revolt remains enduringly centered around our main goal, to make significant substance or the way of life and amplify the voices of individuals of color all through this nation and African diaspora. They proceed with our center has forever been one that mirrors our obligation to the aggregate excursion of Revolt, one that isn't driven by any individual yet by the common endeavors and upsides of our whole group in the interest of progressing, raising, and supporting our way of life, and that proceeds with well. Right now, Diddy was purportedly turning out to be exceptionally frantic to divert all the negative consideration away from him, and he was sufficiently frantic to move the consideration towards another person. Now you all recall how the previous leader of Terrible Kid Records got uncovered and sued for say last week. Well, purportedly, Diddy was behind that association since he believed individuals should zero in on another person. As per reports, Bass, who documented the New York High Court, blames Harvey Wharf, a previous president, for Awful Kid Diversion and Awful Kid Records, for participating in an extended